It is now 6:00 p.m. At this time, I will ask each and every one of you, if you would put your phones on vibrate or turn them off. At this time, I now call this meeting to order, and we're going to ask Commissioner Bynum if she will do the invocation for us.
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we come before you this evening to thank you, God. Oh God, we thank you, glory be to God, for everything. We thank you for being so good and so kind and so merciful. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you, oh God, for another town meeting, oh God. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we ask you, oh God, to bless everyone that's here, God. Oh God, we ask that you bless the visitors, Lord God, and bless the residents of this town. And Father God, in the name of Jesus, we ask, oh God, that you could bless this committee board, oh God. Oh God, that we will conduct orders in a manner, oh God, that we be pleasing unto you, God. And we thank you, God, and we praise you, and we magnify your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. At this time, we will ask Mr. Easton Everett if he would come forth and lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. And if you would, Mr. Easton, will you tell us what grade you're in and what school you're from? You can bend that mic down if you want to. Bend it on down.
I'm from Bethel, and I'm in 3rd grade.
And if you would ask everyone to stand.
Can you please stand?
There you go. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Now, Mr. Easton, if you would stand right there for me. And if I can get one of you good citizens, let's take this photo for us, because this, Mr. Easton, is our first one that have come and led us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Amen.
That's good. All right, buddy, you get right here.
1, 2, 3. All right.
All right. You want to get one?
I'm sure.
Okay. All right.
Wait, can I get out? You ready?
All right. Thank you. Can we give him a hand? Thank y'all so much for being patient with us. Next, do I have a motion to approve the proposed agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Lilly. All those in favor by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next to claim our attention is item E, the consent agenda, minutes from regular meeting, monthly meeting from August the 5th. Do I have a motion that we approve the minutes from August the 5th, 2025? Motion made by Commissioner Staden. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor by raising your right hand. Motion carried unanimous. Okay, next to claim our attention is the public comments. And just to let you know about the public comments, it provides an opportunity for the residents to comment on any item included on the agenda or to address the town board or on any matter related to the town of Bethel. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. And we do have Ms. Linda Wall has signed up for public comments. You may come at this time.
Let's see. I got my notes here. Good evening.
Good evening.
I come before you this morning and I greet this afternoon, excuse me. I'm kind of nervous for some reason. I could talk to you all day about teeth, but this is a little bit more than that. But the town manager and our commissioners, my name is Linda Wall. I've lived here for close to 50 years. I'm not quite as old as Farrell, Or you? But I'm getting close. But anyway.
Whatever you ask, but my vote's no.
I still got to butter you up a little bit more, with something good. But anyway, I am also a member of the Bethel Baptist Church, and that's who I'm pretty much here on behalf of tonight. And what the situation that I'd like to address would be the building adjacent to us of our church. I understand that there have been multiple issues there, but I'm concerned with the outside maintenance or lack thereof. The front of the building has been cleaned up somewhat, but there are still a lot of items that have seemed to be pushed to the center of the store, to the doors. And so I do understand that some of that has been cleaned up, but the side facing our church property, when you come in, now, you come in from James Street, and we just had the parking lot there. In years past, it's kind of been an unsaid agreement, I guess, with whoever owned the property there, where I think he said it was going to be event center or something. I'm not really sure, but we have used the parking places that are under that big oak tree. And we actually had somebody that was going to come and work on trimming some of the limbs from that big oak tree that's over into their parking lot. But we couldn't do it because of the U-Haul trailers that are there now. So, I understand that that's part of his business, but it would be nice if he'd left us a few parking places there. But if not, we'll just go with having him clean up around the area. When you first come into our church from James Street, like I was saying, and you pull into park to the right, we face this side of that building, and the grass is very rarely cut, and there's a big tree and some weeds and everything growing up. But the people who are on James Street have to look at this nice view that you can see from here. Horse trailers, empty transfer truck trailers, box containers, or those, I'm not sure what those things are called, but a lot of stuff is strewn back there. And I realize that it is just stuff out there. But, when you come to our church, and our church is used, many of you have used it before for having a family reunion or a family get-together or other kind of meetings there. It does. That first impression you see when you pull in there really makes a difference. I know the church is about teaching others about Jesus and bringing people to Christ, but that first impression they see, no matter, if you park facing the fellowship hall, that's one thing, but a lot of the traffic is right over here against the building, facing the building, the parking lot. And then, of course, we don't park much up there in front of the building anymore because there's been debris, trash bags laid out there for a few weeks. But I just urge you, if there's anything that y'all can do that would let this gentleman, I think, understand, the town, it says Bethel is a great place to live, but it also needs to be a great looking place to live. I know there's other things that need to be done around here, but this has been ongoing. And I would appreciate any help that I could get anybody to give us on that.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Walk. Okay. At this time, we'll go into our public hearing. I now declare our public hearing open. And what we will ask is there anyone wanting to speak for or against? And at this time, we're going to turn it over to our manager to give us an update on the public hearing.
Mayor, I think the gentleman raised his hand. Alex, did you want to speak on the public hearing? Or do you want to speak on another matter?
With my view, I'm the owner of the building they're just complaining about.
Okay.
You want to do public address?
Okay, you want to do a public address to the board? Okay, yeah, we allow you to go ahead. If you come and state your name.
Hello. It's nice to finally meet you.
Good afternoon. I go by Alex. I've been in town for 4 years. I bought the building 4 years ago when I bought it. It was worse than this. But a month ago, 2 months ago, the mayor called me and he said there was a lot of trash, people complaining about it. And if you're facing the building from the shore side, we already cleared that area, and there's no grass, there's no trees, there's no, except one tree and 4 yellow poles. I think used to be a gas tank over there where they protect the gas tank from, I think, something. But that's the only place where there's a tree, but the whole thing is cut. There's no trash. There's only pickup truck fence or something that used to be at the top of my pickup truck that is over there. Now, at the other side of the building, there's nothing trash over there. There's only 2 trailers, livestock trailers, because I have a farm, and I parked it over there. And then I bought 2 chainsaws to cut those trees down, but they both broke. And that's number 1. Number 2, about the trailers, if you read your text, Mayor, the last text I text you, there was a lot of traffic Sunday. And I text you, Mayor, without you saying anything, I said, my trailer's in the way. By Wednesday, they're going to be out of the way. Did I text you that?
Yeah.
Did somebody complain about it before I tell you that?
The trailer she's talking about is not your U-Haul trailer.
No, my U-Haul trailer, because that day you had a lot of traffic in the parking lot, and I was going to Greenville, and I came through the building to make sure there's no more U-Haul trucks dropped over the night, and I see a lot of traffic over there, and my trailer was in the middle of the parking lot. So I said, Mayor, by the Wednesday, my trailer is going to be out of the way. So Wednesday, I'm cleaning the front yard, the whole building. The front, there's no garbage. The sheriff was over there today. He didn't see no garbage. Or you could ask him if there's no garbage. What she's complaining about the door is tables. I have like 200 tables inside that building. So there's no more space for tables. So I just put them outside of the table, outside. So Wednesday, I was cleaning outside the building. So instead of somebody say, please, the word please, move your trailers. Or they don't have to say anything because I already promised you that I'm going to move them. They come to my parking lot and they curse me out with other gentlemen. If I'm talking loud, I'm sorry, I'm just nervous. They curse me out, talking to each other, and I'm over there planting the trees. I'm planting new trees, and instead of just asking you, can you please the trailers move it from there? And they just continue cursing me out and saying, a lot of stuff I don't want to say here. But so I get mad. I said, why I'm getting disrespect like this? And instead of saying move it, just say move it and I'll move it. You know what I'm saying? There's no hard feeling about it, and that's the whole thing I have to say.
Is there any question for Mr. Alex from the board?
As far as the parking lot, everything in the front belongs to the building, correct?
I don't know. I believe so. I didn't even ask the landlord before. I didn't ask my real estate.
The only parking lot that y'all have is from the side of the building to the church.
Even the parking lot, I bought 4 lights. I bought 4 lights on the front parking lot and 4 lights in the back. So when the company came, they put 2 lights at the church parking lot, and they're supposed to be behind my building. So I called the company. I said, leave it and add it to my account. Just the church parking lot looked nice, so bright, everywhere looked bright. But then they came complaining on Facebook that I'm facing the light directly 90 degrees to people's face because there's a lot of illegal stuff going inside the building. So I called the company. I told them move that light from there, and instead of saying thank you or thank you for the light or something, I just moved it.
Well, it was shining when you were driving down the street, and it would blind you when you were driving down the street.
So when I lift that light up, when the light is up, Dollar General is complaining. So when the light is down, people is complaining. So I should have put a candle or something instead?
Are there any other questions for Mr. Alex? Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll go into our public hearing.
So, Mayor, concerning the public hearing, this is a public hearing for the town's CDBG ENR grant application. This is a community development block grant application. This is the second public hearing the town is holding regarding this matter. It's a neighborhood revitalization grant, and I'll ask Ben Jones to come up and just kind of give us a brief program overview once again, just for the benefit of the audience and anybody who may be watching, before we open it for public comments.
Yeah, thank you, Board and Mayor and Scott. As the town manager stated, this is our second public hearing, 2 of 2, for our community development block grant neighborhood revitalization application. These applications are due in Raleigh on October the 29th of this year, and the town will be applying for the maximum amount of $950,000. The program will consist 100% of LMI housing, and the program will propose to reconstruct 4 low and moderate income homes, and the program will also contain 3 alternates in our application. These houses were selected via a surveying process based off the severity of the home and other qualifying criteria, income requirements, and so forth. And then that pretty much takes care of it at this point. Other than following this public hearing, at some later point tonight, we will have a resolution to apply for this program.
Okay, at this time, is there any question for Mr. Jones from
Yes,
the board?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. What does alternate mean? What is that?
Alternate is when I write applications, we only have so much money to do houses, and so typically that would fall somewhere around 4 houses if we're tearing them down and building back new ones. And the way the programs work is if we have an issue with one of those homes, say somebody just decides they don't want to participate, or maybe we do third-party income verification and they no longer qualify next year when we're starting work, and we lose one of those applicants, we go to our alternate list to fill that spot. If we don't have an alternate list, then we have to go through a lengthy program amendment process, which could take up to 6 months to get the program moving again.
You just said tear down the house
Correct.
as opposed to fix what's there. You're talking about replacing buildings.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, in this program, namely, we are tearing down houses and building back new houses. It does do rehab work, but typically we find enough houses that are in such disarray that we go to the reconstruction phase in this program. And so there's several other programs out there that the county may have that really focus towards rehab, whereas this one focuses a lot more towards reconstruction.
When you say reconstruction, what kinds of houses are they? Are they like Habitat for Humanity houses or what?
Do you
I'm
mean
trying to imagine the structures that will be where the older houses are now.
Oh, they'll be brand new stick-built homes. So the way the process works is we will, when we get to that point, if we get funded, we will provide, we'll obviously we have to check a few things, which namely is third-party income verification and do title opinions to make sure that the individuals own their homes. But after that, we will provide the homeowners with typically 3 house plans that are generally the same size, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, within 10% of their current square footage. And they'll select a house plan, and then we'll put that house plan together into like a full set of buildable plans, and we will advertise those out for bid and send them to local contractors, and they will bid on those houses to rebuild them, to tear them down and build them back.
When do you expect those? First of all, you've got to get the funding. Do you have some idea whether we'll get the funding or not?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say without a doubt we will, but we never know 100%. So obviously we just try to put our best application forward, and those applications are due October the 29th. And typically we will hear back. The town will receive an email and a letter from the state sometime in December. Typically it happens before Christmas, but that could change. And they'll let the town know, send you essentially a notice of funding if you receive the money.
And who is it the application goes to?
The application.
When you said you would put it in for funding, who is that in particular?
Yes, so the funding, so overall, this is a HUD project.
Okay, it's a federal project.
The money comes from federal government, but it's administered through the Department of Commerce. And so we submit the applications to the Department of Commerce, and the Department of Commerce reviews the applications and funds them or not.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir?
Excuse me, where would you get the applications if somebody was interested in trying to get that type of housing? Where would they get the application for it?
What?
How does that work? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So we had a previous public hearing last month.
Okay.
That was essentially letting the public know that we were looking at applying, and we received some applicants from there, and we did surveys. But ultimately, you know, you can only do so many surveys, and so, you know, hopefully we'll try again next year to get some more houses in and things like that. So if anybody is interested, it's kind of, at this point, it's a little late, but, you know, the town may be interested in writing another application next year. And so I would just encourage anybody to reach out to the town, and, you know, they have a running list, and to get on that list, and then possibly next year they could be interviewed. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any,
I read in the material you brought last week or last month, or either heard it, committee. Tell me there's a committee that selects the applicants that will be approved subject to funding coming down.
Correct. So the grant program has a housing selection committee, and typically that's kind of set up through myself and the town. And so we had a housing selection committee that was set up, and it included our town manager, our mayor, and a member of the community, Margaret Witherspoon. And then I also was there as kind of a mediator, and also to present, you know, based off of, you know, being in the people's homes, presented a recommendation of what we felt like would be the most qualified applicants for this program this year. And
does this board have to confirm those applicants?
Correct. So I've provided a list to the town, and so we can essentially approve that list whether or not, you know, but.
So the board does not have the list in front of them. Is that a requirement that they approve the 4 plus the 3 alternates, or?
Well, they'll approve, I guess, the application as a whole. And so,
We have pictures and the addresses and names, and all, if any board member would like to see those. If the board feels like they need to vote on it, you're more than welcome to vote on it, but either way.
yeah.
I would think, make it legal, the board would have to vote on it.
This is a little unusual animal because you have a committee. Now, the committee just makes recommendations, so
Sure, yeah.
I would think because they're recommending, probably the wise thing to do is bring that recommendation to the board and let the board vote along with the application, which I'm assuming you can get approval to apply tonight, and then it's got to be the application process ends the end of October, so maybe bring it back in October and let you bless it then.
Yeah, we could do that.
So the committee didn't do the selection. We just reviewed the recommendation by Ben Jones as the consultant for the 7 dwellings. We could provide the name of the addresses tonight, and if the board was willing to vote, we could streamline this. Otherwise, we'll have to bring this back again for a third time.
Yeah, I mean, I have
October
them
7th.
handy if the board would like that.
what's the wishes of the board?
Might as well get it done, sir.
I will just point out, this is a two-step process
Yeah.
tonight. You've got the public hearing just for the project, which is sort of what we're getting ready to start, and then later on your agenda is the actual approval of these 3 documents that we're now talking about.
So we could do it later on.
I would,
The
let's get the public hearing out of the way.
My concern is, and I don't know how many applicants you had, but if my name was on the list and I wasn't selected, then I would want some transparency so I could see how the and I'd be able to, for any common sense person to look and see why candidate A was more suitable or needed it worse or whatever than candidate B.
Yeah.
My concern is to have this thing so that we all know what's going on, because we're talking about, $250,000 gift to somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that about what the houses are gonna cost, or 200,000?
Round
You
there.
got 900,000, you can do 4 houses, so
Mhm.
that's $225,000. So, that's a substantial gift to somebody, and somebody that didn't get the gift might want to know why I didn't get it.
Are there any other questions from the board?
I got one. just say that we were able to get the grant. As far as the houses, is there any way, instead of tearing them down, that they could let the fire department burn them down for training? That way you wouldn't have half as much cleanup and all, and, or something like that?
Yeah, I don't see why that would be an issue. So the way that works is when the contractors bid on the project, that house, they're bidding on the demolition and the reconstruction together. And so, I mean, I don't see why the contractor would have an issue, with less cleanup. So I think,
Providing that it's not too close to this one and way off of this one, that way we won't damage another house. Which I don't know the three houses or four houses you're talking about, so. But I mean, we could save some money by burning them down instead of, hauling off 100 loads, maybe haul off 5 loads.
yeah, I think probably the best way to handle that would just be to, once they're awarded to a contractor, just say, hey, contractor, this one fits our criteria, we'd like to burn it. And he said, yeah, go for it, we'll clean up what's left. Probably how that would go.
Okay.
So the program could pay for abating any asbestos, whatever, before the burn's done.
Correct, that would have to be done before the demo.
Then at the end of the burn, you're still going to have a foundation of a house and debris left. We need to make sure that either the fire department cleans it up or it's placed back on the back of the contractor to do the final cleanup, so you have a clean slate to build the new house.
Yeah, I think the best way would just be to let the contractors bid on it as if they're gonna demo the whole thing. They'll abate any asbestos. The fire department could come in and burn it, and then the
So then we're not saying
contractor would be responsible for cleaning up any debris and getting the lot ready.
I mean,
We wouldn't be responsible for the asbestos and all that too.
And just, again, thinking ahead, depending on how much the contractor bid on demolition cost, if it's, we've all burnt houses, we know that the debris removal is much less. It might warrant a change order, say, okay, now instead of $70,000 or $50,000 to remove the debris, it's now $10,000. I don't know, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it would seem to me to be enough of a savings that it might impact the
Well, that's what I was
bid.
thinking too.
Well, it'll actually help the homeowner, because they'll get a little bit more house if it costs less, because their budget will still be the same thing. So that's what they're talking about, a change order. That makes common sense.
Mr. Jones, are you all the same one, the previous homes that they have just built here in Bethel? The 4 homes that they tore down?
So I can answer that. So Pitt County, through their housing program, used some of their COVID dollars to actually tear down 4 existing homes in the town of Bethel and have rebuilt 4 brand new homes in their place. So we have those 4 homes. They're pretty much almost complete now. If these 4 homes go in that we're applying for through these grant dollars, there'll be an additional 4 homes. Plus, you've seen the private sector building houses on, what's it,
Zone Moore.
Moore Street. Plus, he's building 2 more houses on the north side of town on 2 lots that previously were tried to be donated to the town. So we have a number of, for a small town, we have a number of houses going up that's kind of unprecedented for Bethel. At least unprecedented in the last couple of decades.
Okay.
We need it, that's for sure.
So these ones that they're building now are not, it don't have anything to do with the revitalization grant. It's not the same project. Okay.
Right, that's a different pot of money to Pitt County government.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions, Mr. Jones, from the board? Okay, if there's not, is there anyone else want to speak on behalf of the CBD grant?
For the, open the public hearing.
Okay, at this time, we're now open up for the public hearing. If there's anyone that's wishing to speak, you may come to the podium at this time, and we ask you to state your name.
If I just want to ask a question.
Come to the podium. Come to the podium.
Yeah, I just wanted to, well, the name is Elvis Jones. I just wanted to ask a question about outlay from the town for the project. Does the town contribute to the grant, anything?
There's no required match for the town to provide on this, and right now, there's really, other than our staff time preparing your agenda information, and then Mr. Jones will if we're awarded, there'll be some admin dollars that he would receive to to administer the grant. So normally these grants do require matches. You put up $25,000, $50,000, $100,000. In this case, none is required, and we're being told that the applications he's submitted in the past that he's been successful on, that there has been no match.
Thank you.
That's good. Okay. Is there anyone else that wish to speak at this time? If there's no one else that wish to speak at this time, we'll now close the public hearing. The public hearing is now closed. Okay, next thing to claim our attention is the presentation from the Greenville Utilities Commission.
Mr. Mayor, we have Scott Farmer, who's the Assistant Director of Water Resources, and Travis Wellborn, who's the Water Resources Systems Engineer, to make a presentation regarding a project the GUC is going to be embarking upon in the town limits.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Travis Wellborn, Water Resources Systems Engineer with Greenville Utilities. We just wanted to come inform the board and the residents of Bethel that Greenville Utilities will be undertaking a smoke testing project in the town of Bethel. We're going to start on September 15th, and it'll last approximately 2 weeks. Rivers and Associates consulting firm in the city of Greenville and GUC staff will be in town in vehicles, blowing smoke into the manholes. The reason we're doing this testing is we've been seeing an increase in flow at the pump stations when we have heavy rains. So we're trying to, the smoke will help us identify leaks and cross connections in the sewer system, so we can try to eliminate those sources of inflow and infiltration and decrease the amount of water coming to the pump stations. Each resident in town should be receiving a letter from Greenville Utilities informing them of the smoke testing and giving some more information. We're also going to coordinate with the fire department and let them know, because there will be smoke coming out of vents on people's houses, possibly catch basins, possibly cracks in the street, in people's yards. Their clean out caps could be missing. So there is a high likelihood there will be smoke coming out of random places in town. And we don't want everybody calling 911 thinking that their house is on fire.
They'll do it anyway.
And that's why we're going to coordinate, and that's why we're coming up here tonight, just to speak and send everybody a letter. And like I said, we'll coordinate with the fire department as well. The smoke is odorless, it's white in color, it's non-toxic. Like we mentioned, it's gonna come out of like the vents on people's roofs. It could come out of their gutters, roof drains, catch basins, all kinds of things. The good thing is, if it does, we can find it, and we know that's a source of inflow that we can eliminate. We do want everybody to be aware, it should not come into your house, but if it does, you can call us at 252-551-1551. That phone number will be in the letter that everyone receives. We'll touch base with the town hall staff as well, because it wouldn't surprise me if people call town hall if they're unaware and see an issue. If you do see smoke in your yard, don't hesitate to give us a call at that same number, 551-1551, and let us know. Any source of inflow we can eliminate helps us maintain our system, and the less flow that we have coming through the pump stations and coming to the treatment plant, the easier it is to treat and manage those flows during storm events. And I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
Any questions from the board?
Now, when you're saying it might, excuse me, when you're saying it might come into our yards or something, would that mean that the meter base out would be y'all and the meter base in would be residential problem?
That is correct. We would, at a minimum, inform that customer, though, that they have a problem on the customer side. If we see smoke, a lot of people have a clean out up by their house. If we see smoke coming out, it means there's probably a broken pipe or a clean out cap missing. We're going to let that customer know.
Okay.
If it's on our side, we're going to fix it. But we'll definitely let the customer know, because it is beneficial for us to have that customer address that issue.
So that'll just be one day, September 15th?
No, ma'am, it's 2 weeks, starting
2 weeks.
September
Oh,
15th.
okay.
So the town has undertaken a comprehensive stormwater study, and Rivers and Associates is in the process of completing that study. How could this smoke test aid in any interconnections between the two systems that shouldn't be there.
Yes, sir. The smoke testing should uncover any of those cross connections. If there's a storm sewer or a roof drain tied into the sewer collection system, the smoke should reveal that, and we'll address that. We'll work with the town staff and take care of that and see what the issue is, and we'll resolve it. We don't want stormwater going into the sewer system.
That should aid us in completing that study then, right?
Yes, sir.
Adding information to it. Okay.
Are there any other questions? Okay, if there's no further question, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next to claim our agenda is payment plans for real property taxes.
Mayor, we have Russell Hill with us tonight, the Pitt County Tax Administrator, who's got some good news information to present to our town and its citizens. So, Russell.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Manager Elliott. Manager Elliott requested that I come and talk with the town about potential payment plan options. Got a handout going around for everyone. So one of the very first things I wanted, just some important dates. On July 8th of just I guess a couple of months now, almost a couple of months ago, tax bills were mailed out. There was about a little over 1,100 for the town of Bethel that was mailed out. Those tax bills were due September the 1st, so that was yesterday. December 31st, if anyone is looking forward to trying to do a payment plan, if they don't have their taxes escrowed, we're asking that everyone come to our office to enter a payment plan by December 31st. So if you know someone that said they can't afford their bill, they're looking to make that payment, they need to come by the end of this year. And the reason we do that, we're asking that is because on January 6th of next year, those tax bills that we mailed out become delinquent, and they're subject to enforced collections, which means bank attachments, wage garnishments, and other things like that. So we're, as I've talked to Manager Elliott and the mayor about the collection rate, part of the collection rate is getting those bills paid, so we need to get as early a jump on those to figure out kind of what's happening. So we're asking the citizens to come in a little bit earlier, so that we can go ahead and know what we need to do as far as those collection efforts. And then May the 15th of next year is the very last day that those payment plans must be completed by. So we wouldn't extend it out past that point if someone wanted to extend their payment plan. So just a little bit of information about the payment plan. We offer those to assist taxpayers who are unable to pay their bill in full by September the 1st. And we do that, as we understand, everyone has to budget, things are going up, so we try to help make that a budgeting option as well. Payment plans are arranged directly through the tax collector's office, and they can be customized on account, status, and remaining balance. So for an example, I looked at the average tax bill in Bethel was about $1,114. If someone wanted to do a payment plan from the time we mailed out in August and have it paid before it goes delinquent, that's around December, that would be about a 5-month payment, which is about $230 per month. If someone says, well, they can't afford that, but they would like to extend it out until the longest they could, that would go into May. That gives them about 10 months to pay, and that would adjust their payment to about $115 per month. So it's just so they could kind of some budgeting options, just depending on what they want to do. And so those payment plans, however, they do not waive any interest that's occurred. So on January 6th, there's 2% interest added on whatever the balance is. And any subsequent month there's a balance is 0.75% of interest added on top of the initial principal amount due. And it does not, it doesn't waive those interest and fees, but it does help prevent any of those other enforced collection actions that could happen as long as the person's honoring their payment plan agreement. However, accounts or individuals that were on a payment plan and they didn't honor those in a prior year or prior years, they're not eligible to sign up again. We don't put them on an official payment plan, but if they want to do a self-payment plan, we will allow that process for those individuals. And of course, if you have a mortgage, you're not eligible for one because they're going to pay it for you. They're going to pay on usually by the 31st of August because of the county's discount period. Those payment plans are due on the 15th of the month. If somebody wants to come in, they're due the 15th of the month. However, there's a program that we use called debt set off, which is where if they get a state tax return, lottery winnings, they are still in that program, and it'll be applied on their balance as well. So there are certain things that the enforced actions we don't take out. And then anyone failure to honor their payment plan is automatically removed, and then the enforced collections would start immediately. Anyone that you know would like to have a payment plan, they can call 902-3425. That's the collector's office, and then they can discuss with the staff about setting up that payment plan. And another thing that we also do is prepayments as well. And that means where if somebody's already paid their taxes and they would like to start on their next year's taxes, they can go ahead and start those as well to give them a little bit more time. And just to kind of give you an idea of that same tax bill, if somebody decided to pay on it from January of next year through December before it's delinquent, it's about $96 a month. So that's less than $100 a month if their bill's on the average bill. And I've got a couple of flyers I'll leave for the staff as well. So if anybody wants to have that information, they have a summary, and you should have that as your second page.
Are there any question for Mr. Hill from the board?
I don't think anybody on this board, except for maybe the mayor, was on the town council when the deal was made for the county to receive the collection. My question is this. There's two things that can happen. The county basically receives, you open the mail, you can tell that it's for Bethel taxes, and you give Bethel credit, we pay y'all a percentage to collect it for you. Now, is there anybody, we have a substantial past due tax rate in the town of Bethel. In fact, if we could collect it all, my guess is, and I hadn't even asked them lately because the number's so big, it's kind of scary. But there's a sum of past due taxes that are due to the town of Bethel that you could pave a lot of streets and do a lot of good works in the town of Bethel. Is the county's position just to receive what's voluntarily sent in, or do y'all look at those past due accounts and try to go out and collect some of them?
Yes, we go out and collect those. That's what those enforced collections are for. So anything that goes past due, we go out and we try to collect those. However, there's going to be some accounts, unfortunately, that they have protected funds, like disability is the only thing they're getting. The bank's not going to give us those funds if that's all they have in their accounts. But we're working those accounts as we're working all other accounts that we collect as well.
We're showing on our balance sheet as a receivable past due taxes. Anybody got any idea what that balance would be for funds over a year old, ballpark?
150,000.
More than that.
Yeah, I don't have that number in front of me.
I don't have that number.
Probably, I'm guessing it's probably $500,000.
Well, you got to keep in mind that after 10 years, the amount drops off
Correct.
per the statute, general statutes.
Correct.
So
All I'm saying is every year, I'm guessing is $150,000 in taxes that are not being paid. And for a budget that's $1,345,000, that's 10% of your budget. That, in other words, you got 10%. I don't know how you go about doing it if we vote to turn them over to a collection agency. There are people that will actually take those past due accounts and only charge you for the ones, not charge you anything unless they collect something. But my sense is, since we're talking about taxes, I think we probably need to figure out, because every year we go on, the budget for the town of Bethel is gonna get harder to balance as things go up. So I think that's something the town board needs to take a serious look at, is how do we deal with that?
And I would say, I believe the contract is, I don't think the town, they've delegated that to the county. I don't know if you can purchase those back, in the current interlocal agreement that you have set up.
Well, we just take the ones that y'all give up on.
Well,
I mean,
well, you have a statute of limitations, as Mr. Elliott said. So like, we could do a bank attachment, but after 10 years, we can't enforce it anymore. But if that property sells, those taxes are still a lien on that property. They still would have to get paid to get cleared. But the county just couldn't issue a bank attachment on a 15-year-old debt.
Well, I do know that we've had conversations, and I think it was when Mr. Elliott was county manager, about having the county try to help us foreclose on some of this property. And my recollection, it was second hand, in other words, I didn't talk directly to Mr. Elliott, but my recollection was that the county didn't want to get involved with that for it's a very legally encumbering process.
Legally and politically, because then if the commissioners are foreclosing on properties within municipalities, then they're gonna suffer the political ramifications of taxpayers not being happy with them for doing that process.
Correct, and that is that is typically going to be the absolute last resort. And also we have to look at, is the property, if the county forecloses on it, is the county going to end up, or the town going to end up owning the property, which then it goes completely off the tax rolls. So there's a lot of analysis that we try to do. Like if you have a non-buildable lot in the town that's too small to build on, and the county forecloses on it, probably nobody's going to buy it, or if not one of the neighbors. And so then at that point, it goes off the tax rolls completely. So there's a lot of analysis that we do in that process as we try to decide how we're going to try to go through those particular properties and get them cleared.
As budgets become harder to balance, and they will. It's not if, and it's just a matter of, they're getting harder to balance every year. And we're gonna have to be better stewards of collecting these tax dollars and come up with more creative ways to hold people accountable. I mean, 80% of the citizens are paying their taxes, 20% aren't,
Correct, and that's the reason why we're out today. One of the changes that we made is last year, as a matter of fact, we made a change this year. After we mailed that second notice in February, March and April, individuals are coming in to say, I want a payment plan. So we're backing that up and we're saying, no, you need to come in and talk to us before the end of this year if you want a payment plan. At that point, once the first of the year turns over, we're coming and we're trying to collect all that is due the town and the county. Unfortunately, we won't never clear 100%. That's just the nature of the collection process. But I do understand that you do have your budget, 1 or 2% in your budget is a lot of money for the town. But that's the reason why we're making these changes and trying to get out, be proactive and tell the citizens, so that, so if they call and say, I can't believe on January 8th they did a bank attachment. Well, yeah, you should have they sent you your bill in August, you should have went on down and talked to them because it is past due.
And our overall collection tax rate is,
Excuse me,
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
I was gonna ask, our overall collection rate is it 97%?
I believe it's 97%, and I believe when we took over, it may have been in the low 90s, I believe. I mean, so I know it's taken a significant increase since the county's taken over the process.
Do we have some idea how many of these folks that aren't paying taxes are hardship situation, and how many are just shiftless?
Most of them are hardship.
So a lot of them are going to be hardships. When you are looking at citizens who may be on a fixed income, right, and they're going to probably fall in protected funds. So even if they've got $3,000 in the bank, because they may have it or they may not, the bank's not going to issue any of that money because it's completely protected. Even though it's sitting there to pay their tax bill, we won't get any of it because it's protected.
Do you have a feeling for the ratio, the percentage of hardship to not hardship?
I really don't. I mean,
ballpark?
I would say a lot of people that don't pay their bill, there's a small percentage that's just trying to duck their bill, but a lot of people are saying, hey, they recognize it, they want to pay it, and so we'll take it. I mean, if it's $20, but if they say I can't afford $100 a month, official payment plan is not going to work for them. But if they want to come in and make that payment, and hopefully as things maybe straighten out, we'll apply that $20 on their payment as well.
When people have to make a decision whether to buy groceries or pay their taxes or pay the electricity bill, what do people do? Don't blame them. They got a problem, and unfortunately, it's one of those problems in life that there's no really good answers for.
The county also has per general statute programs for elderly, disabled veterans, correct? that
Yes,
they
sir.
can apply for?
So if veterans 100% service related, which takes out $45,000 off their tax bill, so whatever that assessed value is for their real estate. If they have elderly exemption, I think it's like around $34,000 is the income limit. And that's if an individual or a married couple is the same number. It could reduce the greater of 25,000 or 50% from their tax liability. And if you're 100% disabled, there is no age requirement. But I think it's the same income requirement.
Town board, I think, somebody correct me, I think Bethel is the only municipality in Pitt County that didn't effectively raise their taxes. In other words, when the reevaluation went in last year, we lowered our rates to try to keep our citizens' tax bills as close. And we're the only one. And so, we're sensitive to what these, one of the reasons we're sensitive is we're living so close together, we know everybody. We know who's hurting. We know who needs help, But the point here is don't waste any money on this town board so you have to raise taxes, because unfortunately, a lot of the folks that end up having to pay the taxes don't have the money to pay them.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Hill? If not, thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next claim our attention is old business.
New business.
So Mayor, we have under old business, the CDBG program. Once again, there's some program documents that we need the board's formal approval on. You have three things before you. One is a resolution for application for the CDBG NR revitalization program for 2025. You have the Town of Bethel CDBG NR Citizens Participation Plan. And then the third one is Town of Bethel CDBG NR Housing Selection Committee bylaws. So we're asking these are all in your packet. We're asking the board's consideration to adopt these three. Along with that, there may be some other miscellaneous documents that the mayor may need to sign for program administration. We're asking that the board either include in the motion for these three formal documents any other miscellaneous documents as well.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation of the manager in reference to these CBD grants. Do I have a motion to adopt the three CDB grants, the program documents as presented?
And we can take on the other question that came up earlier during the public hearing about which dwellings are being selected. We can address that next.
If you look in your packet, it should have three that's in there. It has the resolution as well as the citizen participation plan and the housing selection committee bylaws. So at this time, do I have a motion to adopt the three CDB grants? Motion made by Commissioner Staden. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor by raising your right hand. Motion carried unanimous.
So Mayor, we can ask Ben Jones to come back up. And again, we've advertised twice in the newspaper regarding the public hearing regarding applying for these funds. People were asked to either contact Town Hall, which we received a good number of calls, and with names and numbers, which we forwarded to Mr. Jones. He also went out into the community during his survey process. He did for each of the surveys he did a comprehensive photo took pictures of comprehensively of the needs of the dwellings. He is recommending 4 of them, which he can tell you. And again, we have 3 alternates. We did have, as was mentioned earlier, the selection committee reviewed his recommendation this afternoon. And Ben, do you want to come up and maybe just give us the addresses of these units so we put that on record?
Yeah, so as the manager stated, we have done a pretty thorough surveying process, which includes door-to-door surveys, taking documentation of what is going on with these homes, what needs they have, and then the state provides us with a pretty comprehensive survey document that where we mark the severity of the needs and so forth. And so we completed 8 surveys during this time, and we've are proposing to include 4 of those in the main body of the application, which means that these will be the 4 that we plan to address, assuming that there are no issues with titles or so forth, or people fall out, whether they choose not to participate at a later time, etc. And the addresses are 254 West Church Street.
Do you mind give us the property owners, because that's kind of vague if we don't know who the property owners are.
Lartisha Gaynor. Number 2 is 7295 Main Street, Stephanie Sneed. Number 3 is 7231 Main Street, Andrea and Irving Cabrera. Number 4 is 3822 Maple Street, Christopher English. And then there are 3 alternates also included that will come into play if we have a spot clear up. Again, as mentioned earlier, these are important to have in an application to avoid lengthy program amendment process. The first one is 3745 James Street, and that is Latanya Williams. Alternate 2 is 3565 Smith Street, and that is Frank Shepard. Alternate 3 is 225 Ives Street, and that is Ronnie Lawrence.
And I want to kind of note too, in terms of the surveying that's being conducted by Ben Jones and his company, Faltor Consulting, they are doing all of this work at no charge to the town at this point in time. Hopefully, once we're funded, they hope to be selected through a selection process to be the actual administrator. So in terms of, the question might be, why didn't he knock on 100 doors? You got to realize again, he's taken the names of people who've said, hey, I think I qualify, I'd like to be interviewed and considered. So that's kind of, from a time constraints, yes, it would have been nice if we could have knocked on a whole lot more doors. And obviously, there are a whole lot more dwellings in the town of Bethel. We could probably easily find 75 to 100 dwellings that would qualify for these monies. And Lord willing, if we get funded and funded again and again and again in future years, we can knock some of these off and replace the houses.
May I ask a clarification on the administrative part of it? Make sure I understood correctly. I think you stated, Mr. Elliott, that just some of the little paperwork in making this presentation was obviously done at the board expense, people's time and paper and stuff like that. But any ongoing administrative, like the inspection, it comes out of that total grant. You're not coming back to the town of Bethel and billing us $10,000 for administration or anything like that, are you?
No, sir. We don't charge anything to write applications.
I'm saying once the process, say we get the money, and there's an ongoing process, there's somebody that's gonna be hired by the federal government or has gotta work on behalf of the federal government to supervise the contractors and get everything, and that's absorbed within the grant funds.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, correct.
It's not the town of Bethel. I don't want any surprises in 6 months.
We'll be hiring a law firm to do title searches, all paid for by the grant.
Okay.
Valtor Consulting Services, there's a cap on, the percentage cap of how much they could draw down for admin.
So
It's,
some of
it's
those
all
people are
regulated.
legally working for the town, but y'all are reimbursing the town for those fees,
With
right?
the program's absorbing those costs within, so when we say there's $950,000, you divide that by 4, there's 225,000, whatever that number was. Technically, it's a lot not a lot less, but it's somewhat less than that, because you're paying admin, you're paying for lawyers for a title
it's coming
search,
out of the cost.
inspections, yes.
So theoretically, the homeowners are paying for it.
I think we calculated, was it 160, 170, $170,000, maybe net per, on average per dwelling, once you pay for all the different costs to get the program implemented?
Yeah, I'd have to go back in and do the math, but yeah, a lot of, as you stated, the program 100% funds itself, so, there's no cost to the town. And also, when we work the budget out, we even try to include a couple $1,000s in there, cause there are some, miscellaneous costs that the town does incur during the application stage, namely a couple $100 in advertising expenses and things like that. And then as the program continues, say it gets funded, as it continues, there'll be more advertising as when we put stuff out for bid or whenever we do other things that will cost the town money up front. And so those are always reimbursed at the end of the project also.
Who actually hires the administrator for the grant?
You as a board will do that through a selection process, and again, Valtor Consulting would like to be considered, but they're doing all,
But
typically,
there could be other people who would like to be considered as well.
could be, yes.
Correct.
Also, there's program costs of the households will be displaced while their house is torn down. This program, through the CDBG monies, provides temporary housing money for them, correct?
Correct.
To be housed while the new house is being constructed.
Yes, sir.
So if we could formally get on the record, if the board would approve these 7 addresses as the addresses to be considered, that would, I think, help the process.
So, could I have a motion?
She made a motion, didn't she?
No, she did.
Okay.
That was to approve the.
That was the 3
That-
documents.
That's
that
the
were-
3
that's what we
documents,
did.
but I need
Another
but-
document?
No, that's the approval for to accept the three documents for the program. What I need now is a motion to accept these 7.
Do we vote to accept those 3 documents?
Yes, we did.
Can I ask too for clarification, did that motion also include allowing the mayor to sign any miscellaneous documents, program documents as well? Ms. Staton, would you say that included that, or? If not, we could use a second,
We'll do
a
another
third motion.
We'll do a third motion on
okay.
that. Okay, right now, our motion is to receive the 7, was it total 7?
The 7, yes.
The 7 dwellings that has been stated by Mr. Jones here. So I have that motion. Do I have a motion for that?
Make a third motion.
Yeah. Any commissioner can make that motion. This is the
Second
second
motion.
motion.
Yeah, you had a motion.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Staton. Is there any further discussion in reference to those 7 dwellings? If not, all those in favor by raising your right hand. Okay, motion carried. Now, at this time, do I have a motion that allows me to sign the documents,
Miscellaneous
the
documents.
miscellaneous documents? In reference to the motion made by Commissioner Bynum. Is there any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, all in favor by raising your right hand. Motion carried unanimous. All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, next thing to claim our attention is new business, the flood damage prevention ordinance.
So Mayor and board members, you have before you a copy of the flood damage prevention ordinance that's been drafted for the town of Bethel. This was done by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, and it is requiring that the town have its own separate flood damage prevention ordinance. Prior to this, in the town's code of ordinances, basically the code of ordinances reflect back to the county flood damage prevention ordinance that would cover the town, but now the town is required to have its own. This is required in order for the town to participate in the National Flood Insurance Program. And this document really kind of dovetails. In your last meeting, you adopted the Neuse River Hazard Mitigation Plan. And a hazard mitigation plan is a plan that looks comprehensive of all hazards that a town, municipality, county might incur. Flooding is one of those elements. So this plan would be one of the elements in an overall plan strategy to have in your toolkit, per se. So it's being recommended that the town adopt this, and this would take place of the county relying upon Pitt County's flood damage prevention ordinance regulations. And one should really mirror the other in terms of the two ordinances.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation made by the manager in reference to the adoption of the model flood plan prevention ordinance. Do I have a motion?
Here.
Motion made by Commissioner Whitehurst.
Discussion.
In discussion.
I got a question. How many commissioners have read those documents?
Here.
Everybody read them?
Yes.
Does everybody understand them? Because I'm getting ready to tell you something that's down in them. Through the mapping that the federal government does delineating floodplains, and I was around in 2019 when it flooded, and thank the good Lord, there was nothing flooded, in which I was probably 500-year flood. There was nothing flooded in Bethel. Through the documents, the maps that they draw, you might have a nice lot out here, and you give it to your children, and you say, I want you to maybe build a house out here someday. And they save the money up for a down payment on a house, and they go out there and they get a building permit, and they go to whoever's issuing building permits at that time, and they say, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, this lot is in the floodplain. And you say, pray, good Lord, what is the floodplain? That's a place that you can't build a house on. Now, if you don't know what's in those documents, you very well could be doing that, and my suggestion is to take your time. Number one is, I guarantee you, if you figure out how much flood insurance is actually sold in Bethel, I guarantee you there's not a single policy, because you don't need it. Nobody buys insurance unless you're sitting on the edge of the river or the ocean or whatever. I think you're going too fast. I think we need to table it and get somebody to explain it to you. Then you'll know what you're signing, but I hate to see you come up in 10 years and somebody got a nice house, a nice lot out there. And I know from personal experience that it happens, okay?
There's no hurry to adopt this. If you'd like someone to come in from public safety, you could have them do that. Also wanted to note that the only mapped floodplain in the town of Bethel is over near the GUC substation area. There's no other mapped area. I guess that doesn't say that there's not any other floodplain that exists. But you need to realize too, when you talk about floodplain, there's different delineations within the floodplain. The floodway, which is the closest to the river, which is, you can't build anything in the floodway. The folks in Texas where the camp Mystic, the girls that died, those cabins were in the floodway. Then you have the 100-year floodplain, the 500-year floodplain. There's different building regulations as you get into those. But we could very well have somebody come and further explain the ordinance as to the rationale why the state is recommending it be developed, if that's the board's desire.
So do I have a motion to?
I have an exception to what Mr. Commissioner Blunt said. Commissioner Blunt, during Floyd, significant areas in the south side of this town were flooded. I drove through there, and there are actually geysers coming out of the ground where the groundwater was shooting up this high because the flood water underneath. So what we're talking about is areas over there where people have owned forever. When they try to transfer that, if that becomes flood zone, there's no value to the land.
They can transfer it and they'll pay taxes on it for 100 years. They just can't build a house on it.
That's the point of what you're making. Yes, sir.
So we agree. We don't disagree.
No, I just, you said there was no flooding.
Picking on them.
There were definitely flooding. I ain't picking on you. There were definitely flooding.
Okay, all right, do we have a motion to table this?
Can we table this, sir?
Yes. If that's,
Don't we have a motion to approve it?
Yeah.
I thought we had a motion to approve it.
Yeah.
I withdraw that motion.
Withdraw the motion. And
The
then
motion has been
table.
withdrawn by Commissioner Whitehurst. Okay, at this time, do I have a motion to table this until our next meeting?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem Bynum. All in favor? I raise your right hand. Okay, motion carried.
And
Miss-
just an aside, I would assume that if somebody's gonna come and enlighten us, that they're gonna probably bring
Yes, sir.
some maps with flood, and also, I agree, there's a floodway, flood zone, all these, there's three or four different delineations. But it's, some of those, delineations, you can't even move the soil, you can't even build it up. So, but anyway, that's a good move.
Mr. Blunt, I think part of what we're trying to do with this drainage thing is to get that water gone, so we're not in, those areas are not flooded.
It's two totally different animals.
And I understand that.
The drainage deals with, this summer, we've had at least one or maybe two events where that drainage would improve a lot of things. And generally, when the streets flood, it doesn't do major damage. The problem with the flood ordinance is the national flood ordinance. And the national government can come in here anytime they want to and reassess. In other words, if they need to raise more revenue, I can tell you horror stories. Y'all don't have time to hear, but I promise you, be cautious, because you're dealing with the federal government. And a lot of times what they say, you think they're coming to help you, but you know what the man said, when the man comes with a briefcase, I'm from the federal government, I'm here to help you, you better watch it.
All right. Next claim our attention is the budget and financial matters.
Mr. Mayor, board members, you have two budget amendments before you. The first one deals with the new pumper tanker that the fire department is purchasing. So you have in front of you a budget amendment that actually moves money with, we have to account for the expenditure of these monies and show it on the books since the purchase was approved. We asked the vendor to update the documents with the current calendar dates on it. And when he did that, that purchase price actually was reduced by $1,456. So with that taking effect, the budget amendment shows that coming from the town's fund balance or cash reserves, $375,092, then with the expectation of loan proceeds from a bank loan of $150,000. So that first budget amendment puts those numbers on the books and reserves those dollars for the purchase of the pump tanker. So if I could get a motion.
I'll make a motion.
You heard the recommendation from the manager. You'll have a motion by Commissioner Lilly. Is there any further discussion? There's no further discussion. All in favor of this approval of this budget amendment by raising your right hand? Okay, motion carried.
Also attached to that, I did give you a copy of the fully executed agreement to purchase the E1 Freightliner, this pump tanker. That is the fully executed contract that is on the books, and if we can enter that into the minutes of the board tonight. The second budget amendment, which is actually labeled budget amendment number 3, the third one of the year, that's just for information purposes. I had moved $500 from the recreation budget to, I think the library budget to pay for some expenses that were not funded, but that was within my authority as the finance officer. I'm just reporting that to you. That's all I have.
Okay, all right. Next, we have our departmental reports.
So, Mr. Mayor, the first one, interim manager, town manager of monthly public safety. You have the report from the Pitt County Sheriff's Office for the monthly crime statistic report for July of 2025. I will not go through those numbers. It does give a comparison of May, June, and July. They always do the last month, current month, as the most recent numbers we have before us. We won't have August until September, but you can compare those numbers across the board. Then you have, on the next item, are the financials for the month of July, first month of the fiscal year. And you can see on there, very little activity on revenue so far. We're still waiting for Pitt County tax collections. And then you can see revenues are at 1%. We see the expenses overall at 6%, but that will catch up to itself. Then you have the cash report showing the money at Southern Bank, the money in the North Carolina Cash Management Trust Fund, and the other investments you have. And if we can get a vote of approval on the financials.
Can I have a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? If there's no further discussion, all in favor by raising your right hand. Motion carried.
And do want to note, we believe, I talked to Mr. Greg Redmond today, we do believe we have all the documents in to do our fiscal year 24-25 audit. So, I mean, this is September 2nd. So, yeah.
That's good.
What's the drop dead date on that again?
They changed it from like October 31st to December 31st. This is the first year
December 31st.
that it's been changed. Yeah.
Okay. Next to claim my attention.
Otherwise, next board meeting date is October 7th. One thing I did note on here, and Commissioner Staton may want to cover it in terms of Hometown Bethel, the Hometown Festival. That's all.
Did you want
However you want.
Did you want to let me know about the hometown festival we just had?
Yeah, I did put out flyers, and again, don't forget Bethel Harvest Festival, September 20th. Y'all come out, enjoy, shop with our vendors, and also Thomas Leary having a plate sale over at the fire department. So y'all please, y'all come out, buy these plates up, shop at my vendors, and enjoy. And I will be putting some more flyers up around town, so y'all be looking out for them.
Okay, next to claim our attention will be from the fire department. We're gonna ask Commissioner Lilly to put on his fire chief hat.
Okay, just to give you the stats for this past month, motor vehicle crashes, we've had 3, structure fires, we've had 3, alarms, 2, outside county fires, we've had 2. We've had a total of 46 hours of training, and right now, 2104 has a bad air leak. The pump on it is gone. The other night I went to a call at North Pitt. I had to wait approximately 4 minutes in order for the truck to build up air before I can even pull out the station.
That's the main pump.
That's the main pump. So I've contacted 2 people. The actual pump, the air pump for it, for Pierce is right at $1,400. I've talked to someone else and he can get it and install it. The pump's around $8. He said he could probably install it for $100, $150, so you're looking $1,000 or less.
And the good news is there is funds within the fire department budget for this equipment maintenance and repair.
And that's the brake lines.
It's actually keeps the brakes pumped up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if DOT stops you with an air leak, they'll park that truck and you
Yes,
gotta
sir.
pull it in. You can't even drive it.
Yes, sir. They certainly will.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you can walk in the building and you can, if it's pumped up, you can actually hear it leaking. Again, thanks to Commissioner Staton down there, we are having our annual barbecue, September the 20th. We will start cooking somewhere between 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll be down. If anybody wants up and at them, they want to come down and visit, or come down and help, we'll be glad to take it. We'll start serving from 11 to 2 or 11 until it's gone. So please come out and support us. It's going to be a half a chicken, string beans, potatoes, rolls, and I imagine they'll have some kind of dessert somebody made. You're more than welcome to have a piece or donate some money for a piece or whatever you want. But please come out and support us. This is on this fundraising we do a year, and past few years we haven't done a whole lot out of it, so hopefully it'll work. That's all I got.
Any question for Chief Lilly? Okay, next to claim our attention would be the Public Works. And our
Mayor.
manager's gonna speak on that.
Yeah, Mayor, I'll take that. So GUC probably 9 to 12 months ago performed a number of repairs to the water and or sewer system, and tore up some of the town streets and or the NCODOT state maintained streets. There are there's 2 locations that are gonna come back. One is the intersection of Main and Washington. We've have that kind of that sinking area. They're gonna come back. I believe there's an issue under the ground there. They're gonna address first before they repair that. Then there's a second place along Main Street, I believe. And these repairs will be happening this Wednesday. They will have, the contractor, the paving contractor will have signs out rerouting people where they need to go, but those repairs will be occurring. Second item I have is on stormwater. We continue to work with rivers. We've been continue to look at the immediate needs of the Frog Pond area. There's one section we're looking at possibly bringing back a recommendation at your next meeting to clean out a canal. And we've got some recommendations from Rivers and Associates of what we need to do, but hope to bring back a recommendation. We will need to obviously spend town dollars on this because that's the only dollars we have, town funds.
Edgecombe County will clean it out for you, the drainage district. I'll give you the guy's name.
We have to pursue that.
You're talking about the ditch that goes out and goes across the Whitfield Road out there. Yeah. Yeah, I've already talked to the guy. He told me everything was in good shape out there, but they've got funds, Edgecombe County funds that they'll clean that ditch out for you. I think.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. And Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay, next we'll hear from our town attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report tonight, subject to your questions. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Blunt, you have anything? Commissioner Lilly?
Just like to say thank you for coming out and, again, support the fire department, the town, the 20th, and come out and eat.
Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem Bynum?
Yes, I would like to know, I came last week and I had asked Scott about it, and that we as the board would be serious in what we're gonna do about people not right down past my house. That little house was up for sale one time, that little blue house, and the grass is so high. And then there's another resident, right? No one is living in that house now. The grass is so high. What's the audience that we can put, to and put into effect and let these people know that, they own properties, that no one is living in them, that they need to keep it clean and keep the grass cut. As Ms. Wall said earlier, that makes our town looks good. When people cut their grass, the grass is so high. That little house, I don't know, it was a for sale sign was on that little house for the longest. That little blue house past my house, going out towards them 11, and going to Greenville, and the grass is so high. I think it's right beside, it's right. They already gone, but it's right beside their house, and people live beside it. And what do we do? Not just to talk about it, but put an audience or something on it and put it into emotion that we get in contact with these people and make them clean up their yard. I was in West Virginia the first part of the summer. And I'm telling you, I'm talking about the grass now, but I never seen, that place was so clean. People yards, you didn't see junk cars in the yard or anything. So, but I'm mainly now talking about the grass. People need to keep their yards cut. People coming to our town, observing and looking. We want yards and everything to look good. So what do we do about that?
So we have two letters we worked with the town attorney to send out. We've sent out a few of these, both on structures and on the grass situations. On the structures, that's a pretty firm letter saying either the structure has to be repaired, you have to report to us within X number of days, or it might be subject to destruction, I can think of the word, being torn down, condemned and torn down. On the grass letters, it's basically telling them that you're violating the town ordinance, cut your grass, but there's no teeth to that. The clerk had found an old letter or old notification from years ago that said there was an $85 fine and a $100 administrative fee.
There used to be, I bet you will find an ordinance, there used to be an ordinance where if you didn't cut your grass, the town would and bill you for it. But if they don't pay you, but it goes as a lien on your property, I think. But
yes.
There is I've got a copy of the ordinance book.
We can do that. The ordinance does allow that, but I have no teeth right now to threaten them that if they don't start mowing it, that will take place. I would, Mr. Attorney, I don't know what you've seen done in other towns.
Most towns, through your public nuisance ordinance, can and do cut grass for people that refuse to cut their grass after they've been warned. And it is a lien, it's a lien on the property.
Yeah.
But the only thing about the lien is, though, it is a lien that the Pitt County Tax Collector, Pitt County Board of Commissioners refuse to collect on for the same reason they don't want to foreclose on a piece of property.
We've gone round and around about this one because that's the biggest problem for towns, and Scott and I tried to work on this, but all towns cut the grass. What happens is, over the period of a year, it ends up being a lot of the town expense to cut that grass, and the ability to collect that is limited. And about the only way, because the counties, and I'm just saying the counties say they don't have the authority to collect it, is you either wait for the property to be sold, then it'll be collected, which a lot of properties are never sold, or you actually sue them and take them to court, and a judge will give you a judgment, but are you going to spend the lawyer fees to collect $500? It just makes no sense.
These are properties that no one is living in those two houses, So I don't know who owned them.
Yeah,
Maybe just a matter that we can find out, who owned those properties, and and maybe we can talk to them, because the grass, that blue house, the grass is really high.
Right.
It's just like we said before, and again, I've got a copy of the ordinance books, because I've read a lot of them. But if you don't have anybody to uphold the ordinance and uphold it, there ain't nothing you're gonna do about it.
Yeah,
We've got to have somebody here that's gonna, hold these people responsible that does ordinances.
And if I may be so bold, and Scott probably knows more about this than me, but what used to happen is these properties, nobody's living there, nobody's upkeeping it. There's taxes most likely owed. The county used to come along fairly routinely and sell these properties, and would get it back, and somebody would own it, and somebody would upkeep it, and somebody would maintain the grass. But the county's not really doing the judicial sales, the tax lien foreclosures that they used to. It does. There's a reason why, but I'm saying they used to be a little more aggressive with it.
The primary reason that Mr. Hill alluded to was that the county used to, we called it the term, we would pick the low-hanging fruit, per se. Those properties that if you took them to the courthouse steps, you'd have buyers for them. But if you're taking vacant lots or dilapidated structures, vacant structures, and nobody comes, then it's going to fall back to the town's ownership or the county's ownership. Right. It goes off the tax records. So that's kind of where the...
Yeah, it's a danged if you do, danged if you don't problem for everybody. But that's part of the problem is taxes aren't being paid, grass isn't being cut. And then we have these discussions 2 or 3 times a year because everybody's upset because the grass is this high. The only way to fix it is the town has to go out and mow it, and then it's a town expense that it's very difficult to collect on.
But if I could have a certain amount of money that we say we're going to charge these people, $100 a time, every time we have to go out there, and put that threat in a letter, that might help.
But most towns have almost in their fee schedule that they sort of update each year, say, but if you've got a 1 acre versus a 10 acre, but and it's just, you charge a set amount, and you're exactly right. Say if you don't do something,
$100 per acre. That would help us to put some teeth in this letter going out, if we could.
Yeah, and give them a deadline.
Give them a deadline. It's sweet.
I would need your authorization to beef that letter up.
So can we have a motion that the manager be allowed to send out in the letters at least the amount of $100 as a fine for personnel not cutting their grass or keeping their properties up?
Per acre?
I make a motion.
Per acre?
Per acre?
Discussion. I
Yes.
think y'all need to give a little more thought. I know what people charge to cut yards, and, I might want y'all to cut my yard for that.
I think
I'm not going to manicure it.
Well, what I would suggest.
All that keeping our town
Let
looking
Scott
good.
do some research. You talk to enough grass cutters, y'all know as much about it.
We got one right here in the audience tonight.
Yeah, and come back with a recommendation next week,
Yes.
next month, and we can vote on it.
That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because if they're that high, you probably gonna have to cut it 3 or 4 times
Yes,
and
yes.
clean
It's,
it up.
it's high.
And that's $300 or $400 right there, cause you're cutting it every time.
Yes.
If Fred would go back to cutting the grass, we wouldn't have to worry about it.
I do it.
I know you do.
Commissioner Whitehurst, you have it?
I have nothing here, sir.
Commissioner State?
Let's take it.
Okay. I'd like to say thank each and every one of you for coming tonight. And this is something that I like to put out to the citizen. We need your help. Commissioners, we need your help. And where do we need your help at? We sitting here, we talking about grass cutting. But how many of you, and I'm gonna address this first of all to the commissioners, you have passed by a resident and you've seen people cutting grass, but they're blowing it in the road? How many of you stop and remind them to blow the grass out of the road? And we're talking about storm drainage being stopped up. That's part of it. That when it rains, that grass, leaves, and everything else, pine straw, is getting in these drains. We need your help, commissioners. I'm starting with you guys first.
Yes.
That we need your help to let these people know. If you go right down here Main Street right now, as when I first took over as mayor, first thing we had the public works personnel to do once we hired them, was to start from one end of town to go to the other end on Main Street and clean out those gutters. And now that grass has grown back up in there. If you see something, say something to the people. And I know y'all wait on the mayor and the manager to address these issues, but you guys see these issues just like I do. So you need to step forward and start letting these people know that that's not the way to go. So I'm addressing it to the Board of Commissioners, and now I'm addressing it to the citizen. You see something, say something. Help us to clean up our town. And the other thing that I'm looking at is that the storm drainage. I know a lot of people are upset because of the way the water is flooding, but that's something it's gonna take time to. We got some people that want something to happen right now, but it's gonna take time, because once you figure out, you know what's stopped up, but then once you figure out where the water has to go, you have to make sure that we want to, when it drains out, we want to know exactly where it's going. We don't want to just fix one person's yard just for the water running in the next door neighbor yard. We want to be able to drain it completely out. So it's with Rivers and Associates, I think those guys have done a great job of bringing the maps and showing what they see is the problem is. And I don't know if you notice with your streets right out here in the front, we got a hole that might be a sinkhole about to drop off here. That we need to take a look at. We have got some serious issues as far as some of these roads that's happening right around town here. So I'm challenging each and every one of you to step forward. That if you see people doing these things, how about let them know? And one thing that really would help us is having a code enforcer, somebody that can go around, and if you have to end up going to court with that, then so be it. But we have got to have somebody that can enforce these ordinances, and it starts right here at this table to enforce these ordinances here. And we can talk about how high grass is all day long, but unless we get together and start confronting these people about this, when you see them cutting the grass, that's the only way it's going to get done.
Mr. Mayor, I would propose that we nominate you as the code enforcer.
Sure, not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay.
Not a problem. In which I've already done it now. If I see the people, doing whatever, I do confront them on that. And I'm gonna be upfront with you. Some like it and some don't. But that's the reason we got the ordinances here. And I understand we used to have our police department that would handle that for us and everything, but it has to be done. The next thing I would like to address to the board is we have to make a decision on the graveyards. We have flowers. We have now got the graveyards shaped back up, but we do have flowers that need to be removed. And when you go out to some of the Pine Lawn or even the Bethel Cemetery, you'll see that you're going to see some flowers out there that still got weeds that's grown up in them, because the gentleman that we hired to do the mowing didn't want to upset anybody by cutting up flowers and stuff. But the manager and I will be working on some dates of all the flowers in the graves gonna have to be removed so that these guys can get the graveyard looking back like it should be. And that means that we're gonna give you the opportunity to remove the flowers that you want to remove, or if not, we'll get our public works to remove all the flowers so that we can get the graveyards looking back like they should be. And we're asking the citizen, if you go down there and you put flowers down, go back and remove them, because when these guys get ready to mow, you got flowers all across the graveyards. And when they cut, it's mixed in, so when they get ready to take it, they have to take it and dispose of. They won't take it at the dump, not here in Bethel. They have to take it all the way to Greenville to the landfill to dispose of it, which is not a problem for them. But we would like to give you the opportunity. And the other thing we're working on is we have a lot of people out there making, I call them monuments. They're putting all types of gates around. They're putting plastic fences and covers. We got to do a better job of cleaning up our graveyards. If not, because we got different people that's coming with different ideas about how they want their loved ones' grave to look. And we got to get something that's centralized, that's neutral, where it doesn't make the graveyard look bad, and it's not hard on the people that are mowing the graves for us. So we need your help. We need to pass the word around. And we're trying to get these graveyards shaped back up. So I'll get off my soapbox now, and I thank each and every one of you for coming. And we also like to recognize we got NC House Brown in here with us tonight. We thank you for all that you're doing. And we thank each and every one of the citizens for coming. And Miss Barbara, everything at the library is still fine, right?
Everything's going very well.
All right.
A lot of activities, and please adhere, keep abreast of the activities that we've got going on. A lot of wonderful children's programs that we have going on now, and your families can really benefit from it. It's quite an asset that we have over there now. Lots of good things going on.
And one last thing that I leave with you. Social media is good when you use it for the intended purpose. And I'm going to leave that with you, because frogpond.com, there's some good things being put out, and then there's a lot of negative things being put out. But the one thing I found out about that is a lot of people that's putting the negative stuff out don't come to the town hall meetings. They don't contact myself, or they don't contact the manager, but they like to talk on social media. And I guess they don't have anything else to do, but that's them. But regardless to what they say or don't say, we still gonna move forward. We're not looking back, we're moving forward. And we're moving forward with your help. And I said, again, what I said when I first got on this board, it's not what I'm gonna do as a commissioner or mayor, but what we're gonna do as a community together. That's how we get it done. And having said that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, if I might, very quickly, just to set our minutes straight, I think I heard on the $100 issue that there was a motion made. Was the motion withdrawn?
No, we never voted.
It was sort of tabled, but
Yep.
I thought I heard a motion being made. Well, Ms. Byron, did you
We-
make a motion?
Well,
I
she
think
did,
we did,
but
and then
she
we said
withdrew
that-
the motion.
So she
Yeah,
withdrew it?
we're gonna wait
Okay,
on-
there we go, just for the minutes. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Little. All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, adjourn. Thank y'all again for coming.
For the hayride at the house. The tractor for the hayride.
Who's gonna be the
There.
All right. I'm gonna come first thing in the morning. I got a disappointment, but I'm gonna help get some of the names, cause whoever that is that own that property there, but that grass really be bad.
Or you can let them over.
Okay.
There was a company who bought.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, good. They're good.
I love you.
That's it.
Okay.
So he owns more than one. I mowed the back of it.
I was trying to figure out this house
Because
died, found out.
there was somebody hiding there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Somebody hiding back there.
Is that a congratulations or?
Look at the fence in area, it's overgrown, but behind it, there's a section of the lot.
There you go. So you had to, you sold your soul.
So when I met the guy.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Well, I'm glad to know you're there. That way we know we got somebody who listened to us.
and we didn't know about it. And
Well, they had it for sale one time, that house, but evidently they must have took the for sale sign.
Oh,